Hello, my name is Matthias Kavolik, the Well Guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Rick Remender's Uncanny Avengers. A fantastic run, except for the last story arc. The last one was really bad because it goes right into the Axis crossover, which was just terrible. Don't read it ever. And this particular series comes out of another crossover, the Avengers versus X-Men crossover, where the Avengers, at the end of that story, especially Cap, realize that they've neglected mutant problems that get pretty big and can be a global menace. So they decide to create a new Avengers lineup called the Unity Squad. They're going to fold into their lineup a couple of mutants. We have Wolverine, who has already been on the Avengers for quite a while by this time, because we're talking, this is 2013. Rogue joins the team, who she really grows into being an Avenger while the series progresses. And I like her a lot in that particular role. Also, later on, we're going to see Sunfire, the team, and sort of like a PR move, Cap decides to make as team leader, Havoc, and that's going to actually add an interesting dynamic to the team because Cap, there's going to be friction between Havoc and Cap because he sort of like puts him there as a figurehead, but Cap sort of still wants to be the team leader, and Havoc's like, nope, I'm going to be the team leader. And the series actually fails to mention that Havoc was the leader of X Factor for a real long time, and he has quite a bit of experience dealing with the government and stuff like that. Also, during this time, we're going through a phase for Cyclops that I really didn't like. I liked the evolution of Cyclops being this rebellious leader and straying away from Xavier's vision and being more proactive and more aggressive, being sort of like a mutant Che Guevara. And this is going to lead to the whole Avengers versus X-Men crossover, dealing with the Phoenix Five. Cyclops actually killing Xavier. I felt like that part was very poorly handled. You never see like Cyclops having any remorse for killing his adoptive father, Xavier. So in issue 1, what happens is someone has tampered with Avalanche's mind. They've been touching in his brain. Touching in his brain, that sounds really weird. Really awkward. Sorry. Thing is, they basically send Avalanche into the city into a full-on homicidal rage. Obviously has like earthquake powers. So he causes this gigantic earthquake. People are dying left and right. The squad goes into action. On the Avengers side, I didn't mention, we have Cap, who, well, I did mention previously. Thor's on the team. Scarlet Witch, who in this series, she just doesn't stop taking bad decisions. That's sort of like a main aspect of Scarlet Witch's personality, is just not taking the right decision. It's like a freaking liability to everyone, to humans, mutants, Avengers, X-Men, everyone. She seems to really take responsibility for her actions. But okay, at this point, she's at Xavier's grave. She's mourning his death. Rogue arrives. Rogue's really pissed off. That's like a big dynamic in the series, that Rogue really doesn't like Scarlet Witch. Both teammates are going to be at each other's necks, but they get attacked by a group of really weird villains. I want to say human, but they're not human. Basically, they're the enforcers for the main villain of the series, who is Red Skull, but this Red Skull is actually not the real Red Skull. He's a clone of the original, that if the real Red Skull dies, this one's like sort of like a backup. He wants to capture Scarlet Witch. He's part of, obviously, his plans. And also, while he's at it, he captures Rogue. And what this clone of Red Skull does, and this is seriously gross, I remember seeing this, is steal Xavier's body, get his brain, implant the telepathic part of Xavier's brain into his mind. Now we get this new Red Skull who is crazy dangerous with insanely powerful telepathic powers. He sent Avalanche to start this terrorist attack, to get humans pissed off against mutants. He wants to start a human-mutant war. This is going to serve Red Skull's agenda, he wants to foment hate. That's one really awesome thing about Red Skull himself as a character, that he's pure evil and he has no redeeming qualities. Like him and Carnage, two characters that have no redeeming qualities. You can't find anything that's good about them. They're just pure evil, pure chaos. Oh, this new Red Skull with telepathic powers, like he's stretching his telepathic legs. He started to manipulate Scarlet Witch to join his cause. There's this really gruesome part where Rogue finds Xavier's body without the brain, and it's just really sad and gruesome at the same time. It sort of grosses me out. So Red Skull and his, I can't remember the name of the enforcers. Like, put it in the comments below. Actually, really interesting characters. They have really weird powers, and they're really powerful. So Xavier, listen to me. Red Skull and company set out, attack the city, get the Avengers Unity Squad going up against them, and they're having a real hard time dealing with Red Skull and crew. They have these really weird power sets, and adding on top a character that he doesn't dominate Xavier's powers yet, but he's like, Skull's causing a lot of chaos in the field. Like, there's one moment where they trick Thor into flying with Mjolnir at full force and slam into Wolverine, and Wolverine doesn't have his healing factor, and that's really messed up. Obviously, at the end of the story, our Avengers are able to stop Red Skull. He's able to get away. But I remember reading this at first, and I was like, okay, again. So many tropes about mutants hating humans hating mutants, and the fear, and so on and so forth. I've been reading X-Men for a really long time, so that gets sort of tiresome. So this series at first wasn't winning me over till I got to the last page, and you see Immortus. We get the Avengers like in the future, and we get to see Onslaught and brain scooped Xavier. And for some reason, I know a lot of people hate Onslaught, but I saw Onslaught and I thought to myself, yes, that's awesome. I love seeing Onslaught back, even though the story where Onslaught pops up is really terrible. But that got me hooked on the series because the story arc, this one's okay. It's a good setup. But everything that happens after this point on until that Onslaught story arc, freaking awesome. There's a lot of really, really good storylines. We got the Apocalypse twins. We got Thor meeting Apocalypse. A lot of stuff worth reading. So I'm going to leave this here. Hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.